How did one weak husband joke turn into me getting served in a glass office lobby with my coworkers watching? Why did he stay calm for months, say almost nothing, and then hit me with legal steps that started the same day? I thought I controlled the story until the papers made the story control me. My name is Ottilie Sloane, and most people call me Ottie because my full name sounds like a costume. I was 33 then. I worked as an HR coordinator at a logistics company, which meant I knew how to talk in a clean voice while hiding messy things. I liked rules when they helped me. I hated rules when they slowed me down. My husband, Ethan, was 35. He worked for the city as a building inspector. He walked like a man who followed lines on a map. He spoke like he was always choosing words that could not be used against him. Back then, I said it was boring. Now I know it was also a warning. That night started with a rooftop bar, the kind with soft lights and expensive drinks that look like candy. I went with my sister Paige and 2 friends from my office. Ethan came because I told him to come. I said it would be good for us. I also wanted him near me, like a badge, so people could see I was married and still wanted. I wore a black dress that made me feel sharp. I remember checking my reflection in the elevator mirror. Ethan stood behind me with his hands in his pockets. He asked if I was okay with the crowd. I said I was fine, and told him not to act nervous. He said he was not nervous. He only wanted to be aware. On the patio, a man moved past our table and bumped my chair. My drink jumped, and a little of it spilled on my wrist. It was nothing. It was a small accident, but in my head it turned into a test. Ethan stepped between the table and the walkway in a calm way, not touching anyone. He looked at the man and then looked at the server. He asked the server for napkins. He asked me if I was hurt. He told the man, in a normal voice, to watch his step. The man shrugged and kept walking. That was the whole thing. No shouting, no pushing, no police, just a normal moment in a crowded place. But I wanted more. I wanted Ethan to be loud. I wanted him to be the kind of man people notice. I wanted him to prove something, and I did not even know what. I felt heat in my face, like I was embarrassed for him. Paige leaned close and said Ethan was being so polite. She laughed like it was cute. My friends watched to see what I would do. I hated that feeling, like the room was waiting for my verdict. Ethan asked if I wanted to move inside. I said no. I told him to stop acting like a teacher. He asked what I meant. I said he treated life like a set of rules. He said rules kept people safe. I said he was hiding behind safety because he was weak. I remember saying that word out loud for the first time. Weak. His eyes changed, but he stayed calm. He asked if I wanted to go home. I said I wanted him to handle it, and I let my voice rise a little. Ethan said there was nothing to handle, and he did not want trouble. I said he did not want trouble because he could not handle it. Paige made a face like she was impressed, and one of my friends smiled in that hungry way people smile when they smell a story. We left soon after. Ethan paid the bill. He did not argue with me in front of them. In the elevator, he asked me to breathe. I said he was acting like I was the problem. He said I was upset, and he wanted to get us home. I said I was upset because he failed me. In the car, Ethan drove with both hands on the wheel. He asked me to tell him exactly what I wanted from him. I said I wanted a husband who could protect me. He asked me from what, since no one attacked me. I said I did not need him to explain it like a report. He said he was not mocking me. He was trying to understand. I said he did not understand because he did not have a backbone. When we got home, the house felt too quiet. The kids were asleep. The kitchen light was warm and soft, but I felt cold anyway. Ethan rinsed 2 glasses and set one on the drying rack. Then he stopped and only put his own mug down, not mine. It was a small thing, like he was already making a line between us. I followed him into the kitchen and kept going. I told him he embarrassed me. He asked why, since he did not raise his voice or cause a scene. I said that was why. I said a man should not step back. Ethan said stepping back was not fear, it was control. I laughed and told him control looked a lot like weakness. I wanted him to snap. I wanted him to shout so I could point and say, "See, this is who you are." I wanted proof that I was right. When he stayed calm, it made me feel wrong, and I could not accept that. Ethan opened his phone to check something, and I saw a calendar reminder on the screen. It said, "Meeting, personal 10:40 a.m. I acted like I did not see it, but my eyes stuck to it. He put his phone face down on the counter and asked me to stop calling him names. I said I was just being honest. I said if he did not want the truth, he should change. He asked if I wanted counseling. I said I did not need a stranger to tell me I deserved better. He walked to the hallway and paused near the stairs. He asked me to keep my voice down because the kids were sleeping. I said he cared more about quiet than about me. He said he cared about the kids first. I heard something in his tone that I did not like. It was not anger, it was distance. I went to the bedroom and slammed a drawer harder than I needed to. I told myself I was the one who should be hurt. I told myself I was the one carrying the marriage on my back. I told myself Ethan forced me into this role because he did not lead. Ethan did not come to the bedroom right away. I heard him in the kitchen. I heard a soft click, like a locked drawer closing. Then I heard the smallest hum, like a device waking up, and then silence again. I stayed still and pretended I did not care. In the morning, he made breakfast for the kids, like nothing happened. He asked Harper if she wanted strawberries. She said yes. He asked Miles if he wanted cereal. He said he wanted pancakes. Ethan smiled and said maybe on the weekend. He did not look at me much. On the way to work, I replayed the night like it was a movie where I was the hero. I told myself Ethan made me feel unsafe, not the stranger at the bar. I told myself Ethan embarrassed me, not my own words. I practiced the story in my head until it sounded clean. At the office, I told my friends Ethan froze and did nothing. I said I realized I could not count on him. They made faces like they were shocked for me. I liked that. It felt like power. I ignored the part where Ethan had stayed calm and kept us out of trouble. I called that doing nothing because that fit my story. By lunch, Paige texted me and asked what happened after we left. I told her Ethan was weak and I was tired of it. Paige sent laughing emojis. I stared at the screen and felt proud. Then my phone buzzed again, and I saw a new message request from a name I did not know well, but recognized from a few office events. Cole Ramirez asked if I was okay and said he had seen my story. He said no woman should feel unprotected. I told myself it was just kindness, and I answered him anyway. The message from Cole sat in my phone like a warm coin. It felt good in my hand, even if it was only words on a screen. I told myself it was normal for people to check on me. I told myself I deserved support. I also told myself Ethan brought this on himself. In my mind, that made everything clean. I answered Cole and said I was fine, but I also said it was hard at home. He replied fast. He said he hated seeing a good woman treated like she did not matter. I did not correct him. I let him build the picture. I liked the picture. 2 days later, Paige invited us to a backyard party at her friend Marisol's house. Paige said it would be fun and would reset the vibe. Ethan asked if I really wanted to go after the bar night. I said yes and told him he needed practice being social. He asked what that meant. I said it meant he should stop acting scared of people. On the drive there, Ethan asked if we could keep things calm. I said I was always calm, and I said he was the one who made it tense. He said he did not want jokes that cut. I said jokes were only jokes if you were not weak. Marisol's backyard was full of string lights and loud music. People held plastic cups. Kids ran in the grass. Someone set up a phone tripod near the patio, like every moment needed proof. I watched Ethan walk in and nod politely. He carried a plate of fruit Paige told him to bring. He looked like a guest worker, not a husband. That thought made me angry, like he was failing on purpose. People asked how we were. I smiled and said we were fine, but my tone made it sound like a lie. A few women leaned close and asked if Ethan was still quiet. Paige jumped in and said he was quiet because he was harmless. She laughed. I laughed too, like it was a family joke. A man near the grill started telling a story about a mugging he saw downtown. He said the guy got brave and chased the thief. Everyone reacted like it was a movie scene. Then someone asked what they would do if their partner got bothered in public. I felt the moment open like a stage. I said Ethan would write a report about it. People laughed. Ethan looked at me and asked me to stop. I said I was only making it light. He said it did not feel light. I said his feelings were not facts. Paige clapped and said I was brave for speaking up. Someone lifted a phone and aimed it our way, like they expected a show. Ethan tried again, calmly. He asked if we could talk later, in private. I said he was always asking for private because he could not handle public. I said a man who could protect his family did not hide from people. He said he did not hide, he avoided trouble. I said avoiding trouble was a pretty word for fear. I watched faces around us. Some people smiled. Some looked away. I chose to see only the smiles. I wanted to win the room. I wanted Ethan to lose it. Ethan stepped back and took a breath. He asked me to come with him for a minute. I said no, and told him to stop controlling me. He said he was not controlling me, he was asking. I said asking was a trick, because he acted hurt when I said no. He stopped. He nodded like he was saving that moment in a file in his mind. Later, when someone poured drinks again, Paige whispered that Ethan looked like he wanted to cry. I told her he did not cry. He sulked. Paige said I should push him until he changed. I liked the word push. It sounded like power. Ethan stayed near the kids for a while, even though our kids were not there. He helped Marisol's little boy fix a toy car. He asked the host where to put empty plates. He did every small thing right. That made me more annoyed, because I wanted him to be wrong. When it got late, Ethan said he wanted to go home. I asked if he was tired or embarrassed. He said he was not tired, he just did not want conflict. I said conflict followed him like a shadow because he was weak. He said that word needed to stop. I said he could stop it by changing. In the car, he did not argue. He only asked if I understood how cruel I sounded. I said he was trying to guilt me because he had no strength. He said he did not want guilt. He wanted respect. I said respect followed results, and he had no results. The next day, we went to the supermarket after work. It was supposed to be normal, but I carried the party like a trophy. I checked my phone and saw Paige had posted a clip from the backyard. It showed me smiling while Ethan stood quiet beside me. The caption said something like, "Some men are built for paperwork." People were reacting with laughing faces. I showed Ethan the post at the checkout line, like I was daring him to say something. He asked why Paige recorded that. I said everyone records everything now. He asked why I let her post it. I said I could not control her. He said I could ask her to take it down. I said that would make us look weak. A woman behind us stared. I heard her cartwheel squeak. Ethan asked if we could not do this here. I said he always used here as an excuse. He said he did not want to fight in public. I said he did not want to fight anywhere. Ethan paid for the groceries and kept his voice even. He asked me to stop turning the marriage into a show. I said he should have thought of that before he made me feel unsafe. He looked at me like he did not recognize me. When we got home, we carried bags into the kitchen. Ethan put pantry items away, in the same neat lines as always. Then he opened a drawer near the fridge and took out a small stack of papers. He did not show them to me. He only wrote a note on a yellow sticky and pressed it to the top page. The note said, "Bring forms." I asked what forms those were. He said they were household things. I said household things did not need forms. He said some things did. I said he was being dramatic again. He did not respond. He slid the papers into a folder and put the folder into a drawer. I heard the drawer close with a careful final sound. That night, Paige called me. She said the clip was getting attention. She said people loved it. She asked if Ethan was mad. I said he was silent like always. Paige said silence was manipulation. I agreed fast because it helped me. After the call, I walked into the living room and saw Ethan sitting with his phone face down on his knee. He asked if I was done talking about him. I said I could talk about anything I wanted. He said he would not live as a joke. I laughed and said he should act like a man if he wanted respect. He stood and walked to the hallway without slamming anything. He asked me to keep my voice low because the kids were sleeping. I said he cared more about quiet than about me again. He paused, like he was tired in a deep place. Then he went upstairs and closed the guest room door. I stayed on the couch and scrolled through the comments on Paige's post. Some people laughed. Some people wrote that I was mean. I told myself those people were too sensitive, just like Ethan. I told myself I was telling the truth. My phone buzzed again. Cole replied to my earlier message and asked how my night was. He said he did not like seeing me disrespected. I stared at his words and felt my chest loosen. I told myself it was only talking. I told myself talking was not cheating. Then I typed back anyway, and I made sure my answer sounded lonely. Work became my favorite excuse because no one could check it fast. I said I had meetings. I said the office was short-staffed. I said people needed me. I worked in HR, so I knew the right words. I also knew how to sound tired in a way that made others stop asking questions. Cole kept messaging me. He never asked directly if I was happy. He asked if I felt seen. He asked if I felt safe. Those were easy questions because they pushed me toward one answer. I told him Ethan did not protect me and did not listen. Cole said that was not a marriage, that was a roommate. I liked how simple he made it. It helped me stay simple too. At the office, Cole came by on a Tuesday. He said he was dropping off samples for the sales team. He stood near my desk like it was normal. He asked how my week was going. I said it was heavy. He said I looked like a woman carrying everything. I said I was. My coworker Nina walked past and gave me a look. She did not say anything, but I felt the look like a small slap. I told myself she was jealous. I told myself she did not understand what it was like to be married to a weak man. Cole asked if I wanted coffee later. I said I could not, because Ethan would ask questions. Cole said Ethan did not own my time. He said a strong woman did not need permission. That word strong hit me the way weak used to. I said I would try. I met Cole after work at a gym lobby across town. I told Ethan I had to stay late for a staff concern. He asked if everything was okay. I said it was stressful, and I did not want to talk about it. He said he understood and told me to drive safe. Cole waited by the smoothie counter and smiled when he saw me. He asked if I felt guilty. I said I felt tired. He said tired was what women said when they were not allowed to be happy. I laughed. It felt like air after holding my breath. We sat in the lobby where people walked in and out, so it did not look secret. Cole asked what Ethan did that made me so upset. I told the story again, the bar story, like it happened every day. I said I wanted to protect her and got to Clark. Cole said Ethan sounded insecure. I did not correct him. When I got home, the kitchen light was still on. Ethan was wiping the counter. He asked what time I left work. I said late. He asked why my location showed I was across town. I froze for a second, then I acted offended. I said he was tracking me. He said he was not tracking. He only saw a shared map we used for the kids. I said he was using the kids to control me. He said he only wanted the truth. I told him he was paranoid. I said he should focus on being a man instead of being a detective. He asked if there was someone else. I said he was insulting me and that it was cruel. He said he was asking because my stories did not match. I said he was twisting things to make me the villain. He did not raise his voice. That part bothered me. He asked if we could sit and talk. I said I was too tired. He said we could talk tomorrow then. I said fine, but I already knew tomorrow would become another excuse. The next morning, I heard Ethan's phone alarm while I packed the kids' lunches. It said, "Paper drop, 7:15 a.m." The sound was sharp, like a small bell. Ethan turned it off fast. He saw me look at it. He said it was just a reminder. I asked for what? He said for errands. I said he was acting strange. He said he was trying to keep things organized. He started using the guest room more. He did not announce it. He just moved. One night I saw his pillow on the guest bed and his charger on the nightstand. The bed looked slightly disturbed in the morning, like someone was trying to sleep but could not. Harper noticed. She asked why Daddy slept in the other room. I said Daddy needed quiet because he was stressed. Harper asked if Daddy was mad at me. I said no, Daddy was just sensitive. Harper frowned like she did not believe me. She asked if I made fun of him again. I said I was only joking. Miles asked why Daddy's mug was on the far side of the counter. I said Daddy liked space. Miles nodded and went back to his cereal. It should have made me sad. Instead, I told myself Ethan was doing this to punish me. At work, I got bolder. I started taking my lunch break when Cole was nearby. We walked outside and talked by the loading dock where the wind blew hard. He asked what I wanted in life. I said I wanted respect. He said respect came when you stopped accepting crumbs. I heard my own voice in his words and liked it. One afternoon, my phone buzzed with Cole's name while I was in a meeting. I hid the screen under the table and typed quickly. He said he missed me. I said he should not say that. He said he only said what was true. I told myself words were not actions. I told myself I was still a good wife because I went home at night. That evening, Ethan asked me again about my schedule. He said he needed to plan pickups. I said he was using the kids as an excuse to watch me. He said he was using the kids as the reason, because they needed stability. I said stability did not matter if a woman felt unsafe. He asked unsafe from what? I said from being alone in a marriage. He suggested a walk, like we used to do when we were dating. We went to the riverside promenade after dinner. The air was cold and the water looked dark. People passed us with dogs and strollers. Ethan asked if I still loved him. I said love was not the issue. I said he failed at the basic job of a husband. He asked what that job was. I said protection and leadership. He said leadership was not shouting. He said protection was not violence. He said he would never do anything illegal or reckless, even to impress me. I told him that proved my point. I said he cared more about rules than about me. He said he cared about our family and our future. I said future did not matter if I felt small now. When we got home, he did not follow me into the bedroom. He went to the kitchen and opened his laptop at the table. I stood in the doorway and watched. The screen showed a blank spreadsheet with columns and dates, but no title I could read from where I was. He looked up and asked if I needed something. I said no, I was just getting water. The printer in the corner made a sound and pushed out a page, but the page looked blank when he picked it up. He stared at it for a second and then folded it and placed it inside a folder. I saw labels on a stack nearby, simple words like household and utilities. The sight made my stomach tighten, even though I did not know why. He closed the laptop. His phone made a soft beep, like an app ending a recording or a file finishing. Then another sound came, a small chime that said, "File uploaded successfully." Ethan did not look at me when it happened. He only asked if I was going to bed. I went upstairs and lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling. I told myself Ethan was being dramatic. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I told myself I was still the one in control. But my phone buzzed with Cole's name again, and I answered right away, because control felt better when someone wanted me. By the next week, my story felt bigger than my marriage. It lived in group chats and quick looks at work. People did not ask Ethan how he felt. They asked me if I was okay. I trained them to do that. I used the right words, like emotional distance and feeling unsafe, and I watched them nod. Ethan kept shrinking his life into simple routines. He woke up early, packed the kids' bags, and left for work on time. He stopped trying to win me back with jokes or little gifts. That change should have scared me more, but I told myself it was a tactic. I said he was doing it to punish me. On Thursday, I went to the school pickup line. The air smelled like exhaust and winter coats. Parents sat in cars and stared ahead, like they all had the same tired face. Ethan usually did pickup, but I said I would do it. I told myself I was proving I could manage. I also told myself I needed to be seen as the stable one. I saw Ethan's car 2 spots ahead. He was there too, which surprised me. He was not supposed to be there. He must have adjusted his schedule without telling me. When Harper got in my car, she asked why Daddy was also there. I said he was probably confused again. Harper looked out the window and saw him wave. She waved back. Then she asked why he slept in the guest room. I said he needed space because he was stressed at work. Harper asked if I was stressed too. I said yes, because I carried more than anyone understood. A parent in the line, a woman named Trish, leaned toward my window when we stopped. She asked if Ethan was okay, because he looked tired. I smiled and said Ethan always looked tired when he was upset. Trish asked if we were having problems. I said every marriage had problems, but some men made it worse by refusing to step up. Trish nodded slowly, but her eyes did not match her nod. I felt a small sting, like she saw through me. I told myself she was judging without knowing the truth. Then I reminded myself I own the truth because I told it louder. That evening, Paige insisted we all do a family dinner at a restaurant with a long table. She said it would make us look normal. I knew what she meant. She wanted photos. She wanted the impression of a happy family, because impressions were our currency. Ethan said he would come for the kids, but he said he did not want jokes. I said he always tried to control the tone. He said he wanted respect. I said respect was earned. At the restaurant, the table was crowded. My mother Deborah sat near me like a guard. My father Leonard sat across, already looking tired. Paige sat on my other side, ready to steer the conversation. Ethan sat between the kids, so he could pass napkins and cut food. Carol, Ethan's mother, came too. She sat straight and watched everyone like she was counting minutes. Paige started with stories, loud ones, about her job and her friends. Deborah laughed too hard. I felt the room warm up like a stage light. When the waiter asked if we wanted anything else, Paige joked that Ethan probably wanted a clipboard. I laughed and said he was built for paperwork, not protection. Ethan did not yell. He only looked at me and asked me to stop. I said I was only telling the truth. He said truth was not the same as cruelty. I said he was being sensitive again. Carol asked Paige to change the subject. Paige asked why, and she said everyone was just having fun. Carol said fun did not mean humiliation. Deborah said Carol was overreacting. Leonard asked us all to calm down. I watched the adults take sides, and I felt a strange pride, like I was powerful enough to split the room. Harper put her fork down and said she did not like when people laughed at Dad. She said it made her stomach feel bad. Paige asked why she was being dramatic. Harper said she was not dramatic, she was sad. Ethan touched Harper's shoulder and asked her to eat. He told her it was okay. I felt heat rise in my neck, not because I hurt my child, but because my child made me look wrong in public. I told Harper she did not understand humor yet. Harper said she understood when something was mean. The waiter came back with drinks. I saw a couple at the next table glance over. I smiled like everything was fine. Ethan asked if we could just focus on the kids. I said he always used the kids to hide from hard truths. He said the kids were the only truth that mattered. After dinner, Ethan walked the kids to the car. Carol followed. Deborah pulled me aside and said Ethan was trying to turn people against me. She said quiet men were the most dangerous because they acted innocent. I liked hearing that. It gave my fear a shape that fit my story. On the drive home, Ethan asked me to stop posting about him and to stop letting Paige post about him. I said Paige was her own person. He said I could still ask. I said asking would make me look weak. He said he did not care how I looked. He cared what was fair. I said fair was a word weak men used when they could not win. The next day, I went to the bank on my lunch break. I wanted cash for a haircut and a few things for myself. I told myself I deserved it after such a hard week. I slid my card into the machine and it declined. I tried again. It declined again. My stomach flipped. I felt exposed, like the machine was announcing my life to the people behind me. I stepped aside and checked my phone. I saw a bank alert about a transfer to the joint bills account and a spending limit change on our shared card. I called Ethan right there. I asked what he did. He asked if the kids had what they needed. I said that was not the point. He said it was the point. I said he was controlling me with money. He said he was protecting the household and making sure bills were covered. I told him he was financially abusing me. He said he was not, and he said he could show every transaction if needed. I said he was threatening me. He said he was not threatening anything, and he said he was doing things properly now. That word properly made my skin crawl, even though it was a normal word. When I got home that night, the house smelled faintly like toner. I walked past the office corner and heard a low shredder hum stop suddenly, like someone had just turned it off. Ethan came out with a calm face and asked if the kids ate dinner. I said yes. He asked if I had a good day. I said no, because he embarrassed me at the bank. He said he did not embarrass me. My choices did. I told him he was twisting things. He said he was done twisting, and he wanted things clear. Later, when the kids were asleep, I stood at the bottom of the stairs and listened. Ethan's phone made a soft chime again, the kind that sounded like a file finished uploading. I told myself he was just organizing work. I told myself he was not planning anything. Still, when I went to the kitchen for water, I noticed Ethan's keys on the counter. There was a new key on the ring. It was not the old house key. It looked fresh, like it had never been used. I stared at it longer than I meant to. Then I heard Ethan's footsteps behind me, and I closed my hand around my glass like it was a shield. Ethan started moving like a man who already decided the end. He did not shout. He did not beg. He did not throw blame around the house. He just got quieter and more exact. That scared me more than any angry fight, but I refused to admit it. I told myself he was trying to look calm so I would feel guilty. I told myself his silence was a trick. I said that out loud to Paige, and she agreed fast, because Paige liked any story where I was the brave one. On Monday morning, I woke up early and found Ethan in the garage. The light was on. The air was cold. His car was pointed toward the street instead of the wall, like he wanted a clean exit. He had a small box on the floor and a stack of folders on the workbench. The folder tabs were plain. I saw words like utilities and bank. It looked boring, which made it feel serious. Ethan did not hide them when he saw me. He only asked if I needed the car later. I said I needed answers. He asked what answers. I said why he was acting like a stranger in his own house. He said he was not a stranger, and he was not leaving the kids. He said he was organizing. I asked why he needed to organize now. He said because things were not stable. I said he was making them unstable with his attitude. He said my words and my choices made the home unstable. I pushed the box with my foot, just a little. He told me not to touch his things. I laughed and said he was acting like a victim. He said he did not want arguments in the garage. I said he did not want arguments anywhere because he was weak. He looked at me for a long moment, then picked up the box and put it in the trunk. I followed him outside like I could block the car with my body. He asked me to move. I said I would move when he told me what he was doing. He said he had work and would be back for the kids' schedule. I said he was trying to punish me. He said he was trying to protect the kids from chaos. At work, I could not focus. My chest felt tight in a way that made me angry. I messaged Cole first because I needed someone on my side. I wrote that Ethan was acting cold and trying to control money. Cole replied later than usual. He said he was sorry, but he said he did not want to be in the middle of my marriage. He said it was getting intense. I stared at his message and felt a sharp drop inside me. I wrote back fast and asked if he was backing away. He said he was just being careful. He said he did not want drama at his job or in his life. I told him I was not drama. He did not answer. That silence hit me like a mirror. I did not like what I saw. I went to Paige's desk area at lunch and told her Cole was being distant. Paige rolled her eyes and said men were cowards. She said I should post something to remind everyone who the real problem was. I said Ethan was the real problem. Paige said, then I should make sure people remembered it. So I posted a photo of my coffee with a caption about carrying everything alone. I did not name Ethan, but I wanted him to feel it anyway. I wanted him to come home angry so I could point and say, see, he is the villain. That afternoon, a coworker named Nina asked me if everything was okay at home. Her voice was careful, like she was not sure she should ask. I said Ethan was being strange and secretive. Nina asked if he might just be stressed. I said no, it was more than stress. I said I felt unsafe in my own marriage. Nina's face tightened. She said she was sorry, but her eyes looked tired of my story. On the drive home, I kept imagining Ethan leaving. Not leaving the kids, but leaving me. I told myself it was impossible because he needed me. Then I realized I was not sure he did. When I got home, the house was quiet except for the kids' cartoons. Ethan was not in the living room. I found him in the small office corner with his laptop open. He closed a window fast when I walked in. I only caught a glimpse of tabs, words like storage options, delivery tracking, and notary near me. He did not slam the laptop. He only turned it slightly away and asked if the kids ate. I asked what he was doing. He said he was handling personal tasks. I asked what tasks. He said tasks that needed to be done. I said he was hiding things. He said he was not hiding, he was preparing. That word, preparing, made my stomach twist. I wanted to rip the calm off his face and force a fight. I asked if he was planning to leave me. He asked if I was planning to stop lying. I told him I did not lie. He said my timelines did not match. I said he was obsessed. He said he was observant. I tried another angle. I said he was being emotionally abusive by ignoring me. He said he was not ignoring me. He was limiting talk to what mattered. I asked what mattered. He said the kids, the house, and the truth. I went upstairs and called my mother. Deborah answered in a sharp voice and asked what was wrong now. I told her Ethan was acting like he was building a case. Deborah said quiet men did that. She said I should protect myself first. She said I should not let him make me look bad. My father Leonard got on the call for a minute. He asked if I was being honest with myself. I said yes, and I said Ethan forced me into this. Leonard sighed like he wanted to disappear. He asked me to think about the kids. I said I always thought about them. I did not say that I mostly thought about winning. That evening, we had to do school papers for Harper. Ethan sat at the table and helped her read. He asked her to sound out words slowly. Harper smiled at him in a soft way that made me feel left out in my own home. After Harper went to bed, I cornered Ethan near the stairwell. The landing light was dim. The house smelled like laundry soap and something faintly metallic, like toner again. I told him we needed to talk like adults. He asked what I wanted to talk about. I said I wanted him to admit he was weak. He asked why I needed that. I said because if he admitted it, we could fix it. He said that was not fixing. That was humiliation. I told him he humiliated me first by failing to protect me. He asked how he failed when no one attacked me and he kept everyone safe. I said safe was not enough. He said safe was the minimum, and he would never break the law to perform for a crowd. I told him he cared more about rules than about me. He said he cared about the kids more than my need to win. I said I did not need to win, I needed respect. He said respect did not come from fear. He said he would not live in a house where he was mocked. I raised my voice and said he was abandoning me. He asked me to lower my voice because the kids were sleeping. I said he always hid behind the kids. He said he did not hide behind them. He stood in front of them. I tried to soften my face, like I was the wounded one. I said I felt lonely. He asked if I felt lonely because I pushed him away, or because someone else filled the space. I acted shocked and asked how he could accuse me like that. He said he was not accusing. He was noticing patterns. I stepped closer and asked what he was going to do. He looked at me like he was looking through me, not at me. His voice stayed even. He said he would not fight with me in the hallway, and he would not trade insults. Then he said he would handle it properly. The next morning, I walked into my office building like I still owned my life. I held my coffee like a shield. I told myself Ethan's properly line was just another way to scare me. I told myself he would cool down and come back to the old pattern, where I pushed and he softened. In the glass lobby, the security guard nodded at me. 2 coworkers stood near the mail wall, talking about weekend plans. I smiled at them like I was normal. Then a woman in a plain coat stepped into my path and asked if I was Ottilie Sloane. I said yes, and asked who she was. She said she had legal documents for me and asked me to confirm my name again. My stomach dropped fast, like an elevator with a cut rope. I looked around, hoping she would lower her voice. She did not. She said she needed to complete service. I said she had the wrong person. She asked if I was denying my identity. I said I did not have time for games. She said it was not a game, and she held out an envelope. Nina was behind me. I heard her inhale like she wanted to disappear. My manager walked out of the elevator and slowed down when he saw the scene. I tried to laugh. I said it was probably a mistake. The woman said it was a family law filing and it required personal service. I took the envelope because my hands moved before my pride did. The first page had Ethan's name. It also had my name. It said divorce. It said temporary orders. It said custody schedule. It said financial restraints and household use. The words were neat and cold. My chest felt too tight to breathe. I called Ethan right away. He answered on the second ring. I asked what he did. He said he did what he said he would do. I said he was trying to ruin me at my job. He said he did not choose the lobby, and he said he would only talk about the kids now. I said this was cruel. He said cruelty was a choice, and he was choosing structure. I drove to the address listed for the intake meeting because the paper told me where to go next. My hands shook on the steering wheel. I told myself I could still spin this. I told myself I could still make him look like the villain. At the office, a receptionist asked me to sit and wait. I saw other people with folders and tired faces. I hated being one of them. A clerk explained, in a flat voice, that Ethan had filed for temporary orders and that the initial terms were already in effect, unless changed at the next hearing. She said the schedule for the kids started today. She said exchanges would be at school pickup. She said communication would be limited to a co-parenting app. She said I could not drain accounts or run up shared debt. She said Ethan would have temporary use of the home and I would need to arrange my things through a set time and a calm process. I asked how this could happen so fast. She said it was standard when there were concerns about instability and documentation. Documentation. I walked back outside and saw Ethan in the public plaza area near the steps. He was not angry. He looked tired and steady. Carol stood a few feet away with the kids' backpacks. Harper held Ethan's hand. Miles leaned against his leg. I asked Ethan if he was proud of himself. He said he was not proud, and he said he was finished being a joke. I said he was doing this because he was weak. He said he was doing it because he was done. Harper looked at me like she did not know which version of me was real. I opened my mouth to explain, to perform, to blame Ethan one more time. Ethan checked the time, asked for the bags, and said the first exchange started now.